AIW for going out to dinner with a coworker? I am not the OOP. OOP is U, purple 454154. AIW for going out to dinner with a coworker? Originally posted to R. Amy Wrong. Trigger warning. Accusations of infidelity. Controlling behavior. Less than. Original post December 28, 2023. I, F26. Have been with my boyfriend, M28, for 2 years. Our relationship was great until a few days ago when I think I might have unintentionally caused a crack in it. To make a long story short, I have a couple of coworkers with whom I go for coffee after work. Sometimes all together and sometimes with one or two, depending on their availability. The last few times, I ended up going for coffee with a male coworker. And a few days ago, we went to dinner together. He also asked me to go out to dinner later this week. But I'm unsure if I'll go. Edit. I'm not going. After informing my boyfriend about where I was, he noticeably withdrew and adopted a distant, chilly attitude. Despite my efforts to offer reassurance, his response was silence, which deeply unsettles me. Over the past few days, our conversations, although ongoing, have felt devoid of warmth and genuine connection. I'm increasingly concerned that his lack of trust in me has cast doubt on the strength of our relationship, leading me to fear the possibility of a breakup. Until now, he has always respected my independence without imposing any restrictions, indicating a strong level of trust. However, recent changes in his behavior suggest a shift in this trust. I'm uncertain about the best course of action moving forward, as I don't want to inadvertently intensify the tension by pressuring him. Edit. I spoke to him and explained that I had no bad intentions. I apologized, and he asked if I didn't see the problem in what I did. I acknowledged the issue and reiterated my apology, promising to make it up to him. He then mentioned he would be visiting his parents for 2 days and wouldn't be home. I informed him I had been invited to another dinner but decided not to attend. He didn't respond verbally, but his facial expression indicated he didn't care. Edit 2. I will update the post in a few days after he comes back. I would like to talk to him again. I was invited by his sister to their parents' house. I will go tomorrow and I will talk to him. Relevant comments. On her talk with her BF, I yelled at him because he was ignoring me. I then explained everything and he asked me if I saw the problem in my actions. I said yes. He then asked if I would be okay if he went out with other girl and I said no. To which he then replied by asking why did I do it. I didn't have the answer because I was expecting a normal dinner, casual hangout, but it turned out that wasn't it. He kept staring at me without saying anything. I asked him what can I do to make this right. He told me to ask a guy the first went out to a dinner for advice. I was crying during all this and begged him to think things through and he said that he already made up his mind. I asked him to tell me but he didn't. He only said that he might talk to me again after he comes back, if he deems it necessary. Describing her BF, he doesn't forgive those who hurt him or those closest to him. He will turn a blind eye in certain situations and when people were unintentionally hurt. The thing about him is that most people I know, certain people around us, friends, family, coworkers, etc., highly respect him and see him as somewhat distant and cold person, but fair and brutally honest. He is a boring in a way that he is not really the most easygoing person around. He is always dead serious and rarely laughs. It takes a lot of time for him to get comfortable around people, and after he does he is a little bit more relaxed but still on guard. He is always relaxed around his parents or sister and she always makes him laugh, which I never noticed till now. He always encouraged me to meet new people and to be around people. I guess he wanted me not be like him, but I went too far and now he is gone. It's not that he doesn't like people or hates being around them. It is more like he is not available to everyone and he has a group of people he hangs around with. And that is it. And he isn't that type of person, though. He doesn't wander around other women. And if they talk to him, he says that he is in a relationship. He respects everyone and gives everyone a chance. He also trusts everyone because he finds it easier than wondering if someone will backstab or betray him. Once they do, he removes them permanently from his life. And he doesn't care about reasons. I think he might remove me as well. I messed up so bad. On if the coworker knew she had a boyfriend and if the boyfriend met OOP's coworkers. He knew I had a BF. But he didn't care. I wanted to introduce him to my colleagues but I never got the chance. Update December 29, 2023. Update to a post I made yesterday. AIW for going out to dinner with a coworker? Following some advice from some of you, I wasted no time and did everything I could to speak with him as soon as possible. When he didn't respond, I reached out to his sister, asking if she could ask him to speak to me. She agreed. With his sister's approval, I went to their parents' house hoping to fix the mess I had created. I spoke to him in front of his sister and mom as his father was not home. I apologized for everything, went into detail, and handed him my phone to see the messages for himself. He took my phone, read the messages, but all he did was laugh. He laughed in my face and said, "This is the guy? Really? You could have at least gone out with someone better." I continued to apologize, asking what I could do to make things right, to make him believe me. He said he heard my words, but my actions spoke otherwise. He questioned what my apology changed, pointing out that I hadn't been honest until now. I insisted on my honesty, but he refused to change his mind. He asked me if I am going to second dinner. I said no. He asked why not. You were perfectly fine going on the first. Why not go to the second? He knew you had a boyfriend, so did you. But you didn't care. He told me that I am a free woman and that I can do whatever I want. I was crying but he didn't care. He thanked me for good memories and wished me all the best. I told him that I didn't come to his parents' house for nothing. He told me that he spent 2 years with me for nothing. He then asked me to leave, which I did. As I was leaving he told me that after he, coworker, has had his fun, he will discard me, and I will be left with a broken heart, weeping and ashamed. No man wants a woman who gives up her boyfriend or husband so easily. I also received another message from a coworker. He asked if we are going to another dinner. As some of you guys said, he is indeed there and offering a shoulder to cry on. I didn't respond. I'm devastated, but I deserved it. Relevant comments, additional info. OOP on her intent going to dinner with her coworker and her ex-BF's feelings. Nothing. I just went out like you usually would, without thinking about it. And I'm not really into him, but he is handsome if I can say so. His issue wasn't dinner, it was me not telling him about it until later. He doesn't know the guy. I didn't tell him about the dinner and my emotions got the better of me and I said a lot of stuff I shouldn't have said. My ex takes these things super seriously. To him loyalty and duty are their own rewards. He isn't immature like some of the people here think. He is hardened person and like I said he removes people from his life without second thought. I don't know why is he like this, but it's who he is. He probably went through a lot in the past but he never talked about it with me. I never pushed the issue. If he has a problem he will close himself off. He never speaks about it. He sorts it out himself. He isn't a loner. He just doesn't talk much and sticks to himself most of the time. That is why he comes as cold and distant person. He is really difficult to read. We never had any problems before this, and even those we had we easily solved by talking about it. To clarify, any problems regarding relationship we solved as a team. Anything else I wouldn't even know about it. He would rarely if ever mention it. OOP on hopefully seeing her ex again. It does indeed look bad. And even if he believed me, a seed of doubt would be planted in his head. Maybe after things cool off a bit, I could invite him to talk. If anything, I would like to smooth things out as much as I can because I do not want it to end this way. I would like a proper closure without any resentments or hatred towards the other person. I think he at least deserves that much. On way her ex spoke to her and the coworker. I'm disappointed in myself. I think he only talked to me because his sister persuaded him to do so. I didn't respond to a coworker's messages. I don't want to. One female coworker reached out to me because she is aware of the situation. She told me that she never liked the guy the first went out to dinner with. She thinks he is a creep. This is a repost sub IAM, not the OOP. I was expecting a normal dinner. Casual hangout, but it turned out that wasn't it. Some missing information? Did OOP edit the first post? I swear I remember reading it before. But the difference was after she got home from dinner she didn't volunteer where she was. Her BF had to ask where she was and who she was with. A couple of times she references yelling at him, and saying things she didn't mean. I wonder how bad that convo actually went. He then asked if I would be okay if he went out with other girl and I said no. This was what did her in the most. Emo. She's expecting him to trust her but he wouldn't be afforded the same courtesy. Lol. I didn't know it was possible to be this clueless. About boyfriend. He is a boring in a way. About office guy. He is handsome if I can say so. Methinks boyfriend found some smoke. If the ex-boyfriend is as calm and level-headed as OOP says, I doubt he'd blow the relationship up over just a dinner. It sounds like there's a repeated pattern of OOP not setting boundaries and being ridiculously naive. That dinner was just the last straw for him. Feigned ignorance never absolves anyone from the consequences of their actions. I find it really hard to believe OP saw no problem with this. Especially since she only told him about it after the fact. Her ex didn't even know what this coworker looked like. Her coworkers never even met him. But she had time to go out to dinner with them as if she's single with no consideration of her partner at home. She's gonna be kicking herself for a while on this. But it is what it is. OOP can say she didn't think it was that big of a deal all she wants, but deep down she knew her ex-BF wouldn't have liked it and that's why she didn't say anything. Not because she didn't get around to it. I can have a dinner with a male friend or coworker. The first thing I do is ask my partner if he feels comfortable with me going out. And never with someone who he never heard of before. And yes, he can have the same courtesy. She definitely knew what was doing. Thank goodness playing dumb doesn't work as she wanted. Comments have a pretty stark split between people who think the OOP is cheating trash and people who are blindsided by the boyfriend's reaction. Which I think tells us a lot about how we are reading into the missing information in the post. OOP was wrong. She was playing a dumb game and she got caught. I've seen this go down so many times and it's so predictable. This isn't pushy coworker, victim OOP. Both sides have a role in maintaining plausible deniability to cover their asses. Both want to keep playing the game. Coworker creates situations where there is an opportunity for something to happen between him and OOP. His cover story is typically, I was just being friendly, supportive. OOP is passive and plays dumb to moral gray areas. She simply has to allow things to escalate. Her cover story will be that she didn't realize it was wrong. She's just naive, but I can see how it looks bad. Coworker is testing boundaries. He actually wants to throw up red flags in order to confirm that Oop will not acknowledge them. Each time this happens, the situation will escalate. The art of the con is to make sure the red flag's obvious without being articulated. You have to have the cover story because what you're doing is shady and you will need to be able to switch tracks when called upon. Which is precisely why I don't buy OOP's story. And even then, the tells are all there. I regularly hang out alone with my male coworker after work. Our interactions are becoming more frequent and more intimate. I do not to tell my boyfriend. Although, because I know he would not be happy with it. I am passive in this story. I have no thoughts, agency or judgment. My defense is that I have good intentions. My attack is that BF doesn't trust me. Maybe Oop just thought of it as a little thrill-seeking. Getting the excitement, attention, flirting simply by omitting a few details here and there. It took her getting called out on her BS for her to wake up to how high the stakes were. So, there's this guy from work. Okay? We talk all the time. And email. And text. And eat lunch together. And go out for coffee after work. And we've had dinner together a few times. And we've gone for long drives. And we went to the shore. And we went hiking. And went on vacation together. And we met each other's parents. And were each other's emergency contacts and life insurance beneficiaries. And last weekend he invited me to church with him and his family. The weird thing is my family was there too. And the preacher seemed to focus on just us a lot. But he bought me a really nice ring and the most beautiful white dress. And everyone was having a great time. And the dinner afterwards was fantastic. Quote, Did you two get married? Quote, What? No, of course not. We're just friends. There's a lot of missing information here. There's no way ex-BF blew up like that because of a misinterpreted dinner date. This reads like the bad episode of your favorite TV show no one in the fandom wants to acknowledge as real. Admittedly, up until a few years ago, I didn't know asking someone to dinner meant like a date or whatever, and I thought it just meant that you wanted to hang out and have a dinner together at like Denny's or whatever. I was quickly reading so I missed some things that might have been important. But if she was truly just dumb and didn't understand that what she went to was a date, I think her boyfriend is being crazy for a mistake that can be fixed by being more cautious and aware of people around her and taking a moment to think. I had a friend who liked me before, but I never knew. The guy never flirted with me, never touched me, never did anything that would make me think we were more than friends. All we ever did was just hang out and play video games. So it was an extreme surprise to me when he told me he liked me. But also reading the original comments, it seems she was receiving flirty texts or something from the guy and that she knew that he liked her, meaning she does understand that what the guy wanted was a date. So she is in the wrong and was in fact always been cheating emotionally, physically through texts and one-on-one coffees. Honestly, it's clear from her post and comments she was trickle-truthing, which is never good and shows that knows what's going on is wrong. A relationship without laughs is not worth it. There's a part of me that thinks the ex overreacted and didn't trust Oop's integrity. But then there's another part of me that understands how he'd be pissed that Oop's coffee trips with coworkers turned into one-on-one dinner with a guy that she didn't bring up until later. I could see how he'd assume it's a drip truth scenario. It feels like there is some missing info or some issues in the relationship already. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.